My name is Anna, and you are listening to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast 30 for 30 edition with your host and my stepdad, Emmett Michaels.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast 30 for 30 edition. This is your host, Emmett Michaels. We're getting towards the end of our 30 for 30 exercise. We're almost there. Home stretch. Can't believe I actually pulled it off, but I did. Sometimes you have to push yourself just to see what you're made of, just to see if you can do something, just to have that resolve. You know, as adults, a lot of times there's nothing really to push us. We just have to maintain where we are. But sometimes you have to up your bar and push yourself, as I said in an earlier podcast. Here's one thing that I would really like to discuss with everyone and talk about. It's actually two podcasts in one, two topics in one. So what we're going to talk about today is awareness and consciousness. They are two separate items on the agenda, but they work hand in hand, especially today. You know, I was feeling a little blue today because I was on Facebook and I see so much controversy about what is happening in the NFL with people who are not standing for the national anthem. You know, I'm a little bit miffed at the reactions of people, because this country, a lot of the things that we have today were brought out of protest of something or another. One of the things that we have the freedom to do is to protest when we find there is something that is not right or there is an injustice. And this brings me to my point of awareness. And I've heard so many arguments back and forth. You know, some people are like, if you don't stand for my flag, then I'm not with you. And I've heard some great arguments on both sides. But here's where I have to chime in. You know, as a man of color, I see things a certain way because of experiences that I literally have had in my life that some people literally cannot identify with. They just are not aware of what people go through. You know, they see things, but they're aware of them, but they're not conscious. And that's what I'm talking about today. Awareness and consciousness. You know, when you're conscious of something, it's a big thing. So you can be aware. You know, you can be aware that it's raining outside, but if you're not conscious enough to know that you have to grab your umbrella and your raincoat and sprint to the car, you're going to be wet. This applies to life as well. You know, we take things so personally, so seriously, and it's not helping with the media who is chiming in as well. On anything in life, here's where you need to be. You need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to be aware of what's happening in your life. And when you're aware of something that's going on in your life, then you have to bring it into your psyche, bring it into your consciousness. Because that's one of the things I say, and this goes in so many different directions. For instance, I understand that I can go to a grocery store and I'm aware of everyone around me. But if I don't pay specific attention to those people, they are not in my consciousness. They don't really exist. So just because you are aware of something, you have to literally pick it apart and notice it. Notice what's going on so that it's a part of your part of your consciousness, part of your living being. You know, we get so wrapped up in our own perspective of life that we forget sometimes that the world is bigger than all of us. And it requires us to be involved with it, bring it to our consciousness, to bring it into our being, to bring it into our existence. This goes primarily for people. you have to open yourself up. You're aware of a lot of things. For instance, we're aware that people may be starving in the world, but are you really conscious of it? We see those ads all the time, but does it resonate with your consciousness? Does it stir you up for action? Does it resonate with you? If it doesn't resonate with you, anything that can be presented to you in your awareness, are you conscious of it? Are you seeing it from the angles? Are you seeing where it's coming from? Are you seeing its origin? Are you seeing how it plays out? These go hand in hand, and you have to be this way in your life. So you're aware that you need to lose weight, but consciously you're like, I just can't commit to losing the weight. I'm comfortable where I'm at. You know that you need to expand your horizons. You're aware of that. But in your consciousness, does it resonate that you need to take an action to move forward? It's not all about the bad, though. Sometimes you're aware of something and you block it out so you're not really conscious of it because it doesn't have value to you. There are a lot of things that are like that. Some things just, that doesn't affect me, and I don't want it to affect me, so I am not conscious of it. I block it out. These things work in hand. They're not exactly the same. So I'm going to read the definition of awareness: knowledge or perception of a situation or fact. But then when we move to consciousness, the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. See that difference? You have a knowledge or perception of it. You're like, yeah, that's there. Mm-hmm. But then when you bring it into your consciousness, it's a state of being awake, being aware of what's going on, noticing the subtleties and the changes, noticing how it affects the things around it. I know this was kind of an abstract one, but that's all right. We're about a day away from the end, and we're going to cover a lot of things, particularly a quick recap. I might not touch on everything, but I'm going to touch on quite a few and kind of wrap everything up into one big ball. And by the way, you can find the information on the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast on Facebook. So go to your little browser, type in, once you get on Facebook, the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast, and like the page. I'm making it easy for you. So I've asked for those of you who have an iPhone, or if you're on your computer and you're listening to it in iTunes, just leave me a note or rate and subscribe. But I'd really like to see you on Facebook, because then we're in the community together. I can interact with you. I can see you. I can see what's going on. That is an awesome thing. So I'm already aware of you guys, but I want to bring you into my consciousness. Till next time, remember, you must love yourself, and then love will come to you. Till next time, peace.